He's muted because he's doing the live, guys. So I see this is going live right now. Hello, hello, hello. E.R. Wolf here, one of the co-founders of Elify, and welcome to our Friday Elify Affiliates phone call. If you're here, it's because you're an affiliate with Elify, an ambassador, and you're working with us to share Elify with the world. We're excited to have you on here and talk about all things Elify. Guy, the first thing I would love to do is if anybody has a celebration this week, please feel free to raise your hand. We want to celebrate you and hear how your week went within Elify. We had a lot of fun this week with lots of events going on. If you joined us on Tech Talk on Tuesday, or if you were part of the Wednesday networking event, if you got a chance to watch the interview that I had an opportunity to do, hopefully you guys got caught up on all of that. And now we are closing out the week with this affiliate phone call. So Guy, I saw your hand go up. Go ahead.
I welcome everybody and thank you for joining us. A really big win from Elify this week.
Yeah.
We have a very large partnership happening with a company in the Northwest, that they are the leading promotional product industry provider in the industry. That they work with very large Fortune 500 companies. They're on helping each one of those companies in their green initiative. A lot of these are publicly traded companies, so they have their tier 1, tier 2 spending. And they need to make a change and a movement into being more of a green initiative, reduce paper waste, ink cartridges, what they're providing from a lot of these companies providing trifolds, bifolds, PDF flyers, those different types of things are now going to be able to utilize the Elify solution through our TAP technology. And so there are companies starting to roll in, getting orders on those for our TAP technology. What they utilize them for are more of a web key is a term that is really being used over in that promotional product industry, where a company wants to provide something to all their distributors, all their sales reps, where they can go around and simply share information about their products or services and what they offer. So they see the big picture and are really encouraged to help take Elify's solution of the TAP as the primary offer through them to the world. We're talking with companies that have tens of thousands of employees that will be utilizing the TAP technology. So as a win from Elify, that's really huge for us. That's huge for our community to say, hey, there's more people that are locking arms with us to say, here's the technology that is really simplifying the way we introduce ourselves.
Well, and Guy,
what we have done.
I want to add to this because I think this is so important, guys. We had a press release go out announcing this partnership, this collaboration with the company. You all know, you're part of the Elify community, that the Elify TAP technology, NFC technology, is probably, in my opinion, the most powerful way to share information when you're in real life with somebody. Okay, the ability to walk up to any mobile device and tap information to that mobile device, or turn it around and have the same information get scanned off the mobile device. If you guys aren't leveraging the TAP, I'm going to encourage you right now, make sure you at least get one for yourself. I know, James, you're on this call. You've gotten, I don't know, it's got to be close to 100 taps that you've been putting in the hands of people to empower them to connect and share. And really, guys, we must remember the mission and the goal behind here. Our passion at Elify is to help others connect and share their passion with the world. And these are the types of tools that are doing it. So the partnership that we have with that company, why is that relevant to you guys? Well, that is leading us in the direction, and I'm bringing it up, guys, to personalization. So to date, we've been doing a lot of Elify branded TAP technology, guys. When you take that and you say, hey, we've got these blanks and we have a new partner that has the capability to print on these blanks and brand them for any type of organization, company, product, or brand that you guys would like to be promoting, or that your potential clients and customers would like to be promoting. And then on the back, again, there's some more printing surface area. And then we still have the QR codes and all of that type of stuff. This is the next iteration. I see James has got one up and printed already. The next iteration of what we're working on at Elify. And my number one goal long-term for you guys is to get that down to where somebody who's just running the mom and pop company who wants personalized tap for them and their brand can get that through Elify. Also, what this relationship's going to allow us to do, Guy, and you guys get this information because you're on the inside of the affiliate portion, the ambassador portion of Elify, it's going to allow us to add different types of tools as well. Now, I know one of the other things that they're carrying over there, Guy, are things like wooden cards, and maybe we're going to look at starting to include other types of things, but we'll still do our Elify branded ones. You guys will see some stuff coming out shortly with how to get these. We may be even discounting these a little bit deeper, and then an option to get the personalized one. And we're trying to be as price competitive with what we're seeing in the market as possible to enable that and to reduce the overall minimum volume down to like a single card. The last thing, Guy, I know we've talked about this, tap is becoming such a valuable thing in the way we use it to share offline. We're even looking at how do we put little maybe bumps on our phones that we can just bump against other devices to share information as well. And again, that's all part of what's going to blossom out of this partnership, guys. So huge win for us this week. If you get a chance, check out that PR release. And if you do have any questions, please reach out to us. Anybody else? Big win for this week. Maybe you invited some people, had some people sign up. Maybe saw some growth in your network or in your individual business. We want to celebrate that with you. I know there's been a bunch of people on this call throughout the week that have said, look, I've been going to other networking events and I've been using my Elify, my Shuffle, my Tap at those events. Kudos to you guys. We want Elify not to be something that we contain within the Elify community, but something that we get people started within the Elify community and then they take it with them everywhere they're out connecting and sharing. James, go ahead.
Well, first off, congratulations to the Elify company and us as a family for that partnership. Everybody should be excited and going crazy. Like why should we do it? Because that's another speaking point of how powerful this platform is in the company itself. So when you go out there, people go, I heard about you. You have to talk about it. It's right out there in the atmosphere. We just have to connect them with it. That's one. Two, I want to send a shout out to the Elify leadership, Guy, ER, and Kathy, and Kimberly. Wow, if you haven't had a chance to have a one-on-one with one of these four, not a group call with them all, you got to. Because if you let them just talk, they'll just tell you things you didn't know, or stuff will slip out ahead of time, and you go, oh, interesting. But the biggest thing is the things that we think we know, like I know this card pretty well, until you sit with Kathy and go, oh, wait a minute, I knew that part was there. That excited you. When you sit down with ER, you get to see all the fun stuff. And with Guy, it is strictly tech. I was like, I got a question. Here you go. How do we do this? Right like this. Like, crap. And I thought I'm a geeky guy, but this guy is one you got to talk to. But I want to point out about Kimberly. She's been talking to us about social media and how we can utilize and promote it. Kimberly, you got off Tuesday. I said, I got to tell her something I'm doing now. So when I have a meeting with someone, I take a picture. I post it on social media, but I also tag their company and their tap card link in there, their link and mine. So my follow, there you go. I just got to doing that one this morning. Thanks, Kathy. So therefore, my following is reaching out to them on their tap card. Vice versa, they're following me. What does that do for you? Promote your business, but most importantly, hey, that tap thing you showed me, James, that's working pretty well. I need to upgrade or add more to it. Mm-hmm. So that being said, I'm actually meeting this afternoon with the organizer of a major expo. They're looking for sponsors. Hey, let me sit and talk with you. They want to use like my company for something else, but I'm going to offer her, show how all of her vendors can have a Elify expo card created to promote all of them ahead of time. So let's not look, you get the 1 to 2 people, but folks, all these events that are out here going around your area, why are you not talking to them about how you can make things easier for them? I talked about the chambers, I talked to organizations. It's about to get summertime. Everybody's got a county fair, a farmer's market, or whatever around them. You are the connector and the promoter for all of those events. You just have to just go by and say, let me show you how you can promote your business and tap them into technology in 2023.
I love that.
Back to you.
I love that, James. And again, I think we need to continue to expand our minds as affiliates and ambassadors over here about all the use cases and applications that the technology can support. James, you talk about promoting an event. Guys, promoting an event is so powerful. An event is not a digital business card. Remember that. You can create a page specific about event, and I've come across several users that's what they're doing. They're promoting concert events. They're promoting comedic acts. They're promoting karaoke. They're promoting events that are happening, including networking events that are happening all around the nation and even the world, guys. A huge application. And then, James, a big shout out to you. I know in the past we did a small business, right? A company that doesn't just need one card for one individual, but needed a bunch of cards for the team, the sales team. We want to unify the branding and the way our teams are connecting and sharing. Again, going back to the announcement that we made earlier, this is going to allow us to do more of that and allow people to connect and share with their branded things. We're going to also keep your ears out as we start to work on some enterprise type packages that we have coming down the pike as well. That'll simplify that process, James. I know when we worked with that company, we did individual, right? Sign up employee 1, sign up employee 2, sign up employee 3, sign up employee 4. Again, we're always looking for ways to reduce friction. I know there was friction in that process, James, but I appreciate you for holding the client's hand and going through that. We got them set up. They have their digital cards, but we want to make that process even more simple, right?
Thank you. I got another one of those. I'm doing another one at 1 o'clock, so I'll let them know to expect the change coming down the line. So
I think there's just a big opportunity here, guys, as affiliates and ambassadors, to not only look to individuals who we can be serving. I mean, in some way or another, we're all individuals here in this community, but also to start to look for the small and mid-tier businesses that are looking to go digital as well, and finding opportunities for them to plug in and empower everybody on their team with this type of solution. Now, the benefit there from an affiliate and an ambassador perspective is we're talking about a larger ticket item. So as we go forward in this, keep an ear out for some of that stuff that'll be coming down the pike. Obviously, it's not available now, but because you guys are on this call, we're starting to open up the veil of what's starting to come down the pike. Ruben, got your hand up. Go ahead, my friend.
Hey, James, you're so true. We're right. I'm going to try to reach out to Kimberly, learn a little bit more about the pearls of social media. But guys, I want to report to you a win. It's going to happen today. And it's based on our community right here. Big shout out to Angela, a big shout out to Richard, and another big shout out to Anna. And I had an issue with setting up. Well, first of all, let me ask you a question. What do you think the goal of networking is? Raise your hand. Anybody have an answer? To get a coffee date, right? I got 2 coffee dates today. One on Pick Time, because it's a program that Angela taught me about. And then the other one is basically what everybody uses, Calendly. And so I put in the chat, I designed a card specifically for that. I've been utilizing that, and guys, boom, boom, right away. I got someone that wants the number one. You're not chasing people; they're wanting to meet with you. It's right there in my schedule. I'll be able to deal with them. Another shout out to Richard. Last night, he had a course, and he taught us all of the pearls of a big networking platform that's available to all of us. I definitely reach out to him and get his information. Number 2, I signed up for Anna's course. She's got a course there. I'm really looking forward to it, to get organized on my calendar. She is a Pearl instructor in that regard too. So I signed up for that. So anyway, the resources are here, guys. Just use them.
I love it. I love it, guys. Again, big win for Ruben. I think this is one of the key points we continue to stress, which is networking, which is, again, the mantra I have is your network is your net worth. If you work it, guys, right? If you work it. And I've even heard people say, in big online business networking forums like LinkedIn, did anybody ever hear that quote? LinkedIn feels like more of a dumpster fire of just direct messages of people reaching out to you to sell things. You don't really get a lot of engagement back and forth to what Kimberly would talk about with engagement. Whereas if you truly do networking right, Ruben, to your point, the goal is to meet somebody and then to foster that relationship. So the next step is to set some type of one-on-one meeting. And if you haven't been doing that and had a steady stream of those, either coming out of Wednesday's networking event or other networking events that you're leveraging Elify to introduce yourself with, you're missing out. You're truly missing out. Ruben, I know not everybody you have a one-on-one with is a home run, but those are people that are going to then say, oh, well, if not you, then who type of thing, where maybe they know somebody you should be connecting with and they can extend that relationship on, or they know a customer they can refer you to, or maybe somebody that you can help them with. But that whole relationship and fostering that relationship just opens up the door to a whole new avenue. So I would say if you're not doing that right now, consider getting consistent in rolling out of whatever events and networking that you're doing, and into setting more of those calls, and block out some time. You don't have to be on a call every hour of every day talking to somebody, but if you were, imagine what would come out of all of those conversations. And I think that's the important part. Anna, go ahead.
Thank you, ER. How exciting. Congratulations. That's amazing. I'm so excited for the company because that gets the word out and, people start saying it. That's awesome. Want to say, hey, the connections that we make right here in our own little group, that's growing, thank you very much, is growing. During Wednesday's networking event, I mentioned that I was looking to travel to Costa Rica and Portugal for my 70th birthday. And lo and behold, there's Rosanna. And then I find out that Guy's been to Portugal, so I have to reach out to Guy so I can get all the tips and tricks and all the insights to Portugal. I'm so excited about, but personally, this network grows you. But when you reach out and you meet somebody in a network, you're not just meeting them. If you ask the right questions and you build that relationship, you're meeting everybody they know and everybody they know. And that's how networking works.
Oh, Anna, again, I want everybody to visualize this for a moment, right? There are people in here who are really sinking their teeth into networking. And then there are people who are coming into the community and maybe missing out on the full advantages of being in a community and networking. And it's not just within the Elify community, it's in all the communities that we're in. You know what I mean? And every time I think about these things, Anna, in my mind, and guys, my mind's a little bit different than most, these things just keep coming back into mind, right? Every time I think networking, the first thing I think about everybody, and the first thing you should think about is everybody you're talking to on average knows 600 other people, right? So I'm not looking at one person, even when, like Ruben, I'm meeting with somebody one-on-one, I'm discovering about that person, not only about them, but about their sphere of influence and who all they know. Right? If I ask those questions during the one-on-one meetings with people, where are you from? Like, I like are you a native? Because in Colorado, we always say Colorado native or a transplant. And if so, where are you from? And is your family here? Like, that's just telling me what their sphere. Oh, maybe they know people back from where they moved from. Oh, you're from San Francisco and you're one of those California transplants. Great. You probably know people still back there. All of that type of stuff starts to get my imagination going that, wow, there's a whole ripple effect that can happen just with my interaction and building the relationship with this one person.
Mm-hmm.
However, here's the other thing, guys. If you are here and you come back consistently, you're coming for a reason. Maybe it's just to be part of this community and we want to welcome you and make you feel at home. Maybe it's because you learn a bunch of amazing tips and tricks, how to use technology in your business, maybe just a skill or a piece of knowledge that you can implement. That's what this is all about. But if you're finding value here as an affiliate, as an ambassador, one of your roles is to share that value with other people. So one of the things we really want to be consistent on as affiliates is promoting networking in general. If you're promoting the Wednesday networking event, you're bringing people into the community. And here's what I don't want to have happen. I don't want to have people coming to the Wednesday event who are expecting everybody else to bring their guests for that person to meet. If we all collectively work together and bring people together, and we're all actively chipping away at promoting our networking event within Elify, we all collectively benefit from the guests that we are bringing. And it should be a united effort. This is why we call the Wednesday networking event Elify United, guys, because we're doing this effort together. And secondarily, we've talked about other communities, other events, other networking opportunities. This is your opportunity to go to those, and you're equipped with the exact same tools that you're networking at our event with. Okay, when you go in there and you see all of the direct messages at those other networking events, and people are just putting in their, whole bios for people to copy and paste, you can be putting in your one link and shining like a rock star. And I think that's the big opportunity. I know, Ruben, you've been doing that on sites like Alignable. Guys, this is the first mover advantage when you come across new technology, is it's your opportunity to implement it in all areas that you're interacting with and expose it in those ways. And so when Ruben goes to an Alignable event, he's networking with people on Alignable, but using Elify technology. That's the intent behind it, guys. We don't care. We're not saying don't go network in other places. I'm saying network everywhere. Everywhere. Network everywhere. Leverage Elify to disrupt the way that you network and connect with each other and connect with other people and share information, and show others by leading by example that there's a better way to do things. When somebody comes up to Ruben and goes, Ruben, how did you do that? How did you build that? What is that? When Anna taps somebody's information or says, hey, I'm a best-selling author on Amazon and I use some technology to promote my book, people are like, well, can you show me how? Or what was that? You know what I mean? That's the opportunity to start bringing them into the Elify community and letting us welcome them in and make them part of this community. So I just want to say that because I don't think, in my opinion, that each of us individually, and I'm as guilty as the next person, do enough to get out there. If you're an affiliate, if you're an ambassador, if you're truly representing the Elify brand, to either seed Elify into the other networking events that you're in, or to bring people into our networking event. And I would open this up to say, look, guys, if you, one of the questions or things that we had a conversation about with Kimberly and Kathy was just timing. I know not everybody in the world can make a Wednesday networking event at 6 p.m. Eastern time, 3 p.m. Pacific work for them. If you have other suggested times, guys, we're open to hosting additional events. Here's the other thing. If you want to host an event, we're happy to come alongside you and work with you to put on your own virtual networking event, and then if other virtual networking events that are going out there that we can come alongside and sponsor, we would love to do that as well. Our number one mission is just to get the word out that these tools exist, guys. That's the biggest thing. Okay. Any other questions, tips, tricks, thoughts, or anything like that from anybody today?
I want to piggyback on something Anna said. I think it was this week.
Please.
It might have been last week. I can't remember, but we talked about in the networking how it's nice where on the chat you have the person's name and a line of text. And if you choose to click on those and you open up all their cards, and later on, what I do, I don't know how y'all do it, but after the event, I go through everybody's cards. I follow everybody on social media. I save stuff in my shuffle. I kind of go do all the work after I have fun meeting everybody and chatting with everybody.
Yes.
I saw somebody else on a networking event online the other day, and they were like, there was 22 pages of chat to save. And I was like, who's going to ever go back to 22 pages of chat? And it's so true. And I really hadn't thought about it that way. And until you said that, I was like, yeah, it's concise. But man, do you get a lot of information about the people that were on that call.
100%.
And it's, one organization I belong to I mean, it's not mountainous huge, but it's one of the larger networking groups that I work with. And they actually have a person who goes through that chat and breaks it down to actual information and shares it with the people that attended. Can you imagine the amount of work involved in that?
Sounds like a job for AI. I mean, that's
Yeah, it sounds like maybe I need to get one of you guys on the phone with them.
Please, we can simplify the whole process. You know, to be honest, when you said that, Anna and Kathy, to your point, it feels like Zoom chat is the version of the paper business card. It's like you want to save it, but you never go back to it. And then you've got all these chats sort of saved up with the intention of going through it. But what we always talk about, guys, it's the friction.
Friction.
Right? Friction. We live in this world where we want to avoid friction, guys, right? We don't like change. We want to avoid friction. We want things to be easy and we want the results immediately. If there's any friction placed in our way, especially in younger generations, you know, it's hard to overcome the force of friction. So anything you can be doing to overcome the force of friction for the people that you're interacting with, they have a higher likelihood of following through with the process or path that you're providing to them. That's the true secret sauce to technology, is it simplifies the way not only we interact with people, but the way we allow them to interact with us. And to Kathy, your point, guys, like if you see people's QR codes, I'm going to give you another tip. Okay. We talked about the tip of opening up everybody's link in the chat. And guys, there's links in here. If you see any of those, just from the standpoint of an example, and James, I saw yours pop up, you know, click on James's card, watch it pop up in your browser window, and then you can either go down to where it says save my info and save it. And to Kathy, like that's the order of operation. Networking event is going on, boom, 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 boom. Open them up and don't even worry about them. After the event, sometimes I do it immediately after, sometimes I do it the next day. I'm saving, and you choose the path that works best for you to save the information, whether it's using the save my info icon on there, or I showed the other day opening up the browser and just using my phone to scan in the QR codes. Now, I'm going to challenge you guys with this. If you see somebody on the screen right now who has their Shuffle QR code on their screen, I want you to open up the Shuffle app right now. Okay. If you have your phone separate, go on ahead and open up the Shuffle app, right? Pick somebody on the screen. I know we're Brady bunched out right now. I'm going to call out Brenda because I see hers nice and big on there. I know there are others here, and you can even pin that person. That will bring their screen even bigger for you to scan. Guys, there's a QR code at the top of your app in the corner of your card section. Go on ahead and click on that and then scan somebody's Shuffle QR code. Because here's what happens. It automatically puts it into your card index. It automatically puts it into your card index. So as a Shuffle user, you can even save extra steps in networking with that person by using your Shuffle app to scan instead of your camera app. In my mind, the camera app is the thing I tell other people to use if they don't have Shuffle yet, right? Oh, your camera app can scan this QR code, you know? But if you've got Shuffle, scan it with your Shuffle and the card will be saved and we'll have exchanged card information in our card index. Then I can come back after the relationship, sort by the order of newest cards at the top and follow up with all of those people. Some other best practices that I've heard over the last few weeks with Kimberly talking about social and with Kathy talking about networking best practices that I want to reiterate for everybody because I think they're solid gold. When you are on other people's digital cards and they have their social links all over there, guess what? That's an opportunity for you to reach out and connect with them on social. You don't just have their phone number. You don't just have their email. If they went in and they put in their Facebook and their LinkedIn and their Twitter and their Instagram and their TikTok, and you're on any one of those platforms, that's the opportunity to engage with that person. It's part of building the relationship, right? That's also going to help you on your own social initiatives because you're engaging with people. You're clicking on things, you're liking things, you're doing that type of stuff. And that in turn is going to serve you back up to those people or have a higher propensity of raising your impressions on social. And I think that's really important. Also, when you reach out and connect with somebody, guess what? There's this law of reciprocation where they want to connect and follow you back, right? So think about that when you're meeting people online. It's not just about, okay, the event is over now, I'm going to call you, I'm going to text you, I'm going to email you. we want to follow up with people in the channel that they like to interact on. If I see that you're really active on Twitter, I might start interacting with you on Twitter before I even have a phone call with you. Again, it's just a different path to engage with our relationships, and every touch point is an opportunity to build relationship. So, Kimberly, obviously, if you have anything to add on to that, please feel free. But James, your hand is up. Go ahead.
Wow, we're talking about friction or fixing fiction.
Yeah.
I wrote it word that way. Here's something I do, and it causes a friction. It stops friction people. Hey, I'm sat down, met with Ruben. Matter of fact, the young lady that Kathy had on the face, I did Facebook. I sat down, met with her. So let's switch business cards. I got a business card. I didn't give her mine. I grabbed the app, I scanned her card, and I let her see it got pulled in the system. She said, "What did you just do?" Well, I'm actually adding your card that way I can actually refer people easier. That was the friction. So you know what? I have a whole pocket full of cards. I keep this little stack here, should be full, of cards I haven't scanned in. I have a problem that I have no program that I like. That's a friction that we took care of for her. 1. 2, I showed her how, I need to refer people to you, and I gave her back her card. And she asked, well, how are you going to be able to refer people? Well, I actually use this program here. I go to the card index and I show her how I had all these cards in there. And I actually took her card and sent it back to her. Wow, I got all these cards I carry around just to do that. There's some people who do that. And I know a gentleman, for a fact, he has a whole stack of cards. I know a young lady who has a binder that she carries around all her cards in. What happens if you drop that clip, the binder gets lost? All those cards are gone. So we're helping to take care of friction for people by doing those 2 things. 1, we make it easy to refer by actually having them to use the card index to just share and move. And the biggest one that I always use, for example, is a young lady. I'm about to post her picture too, Kathy. She just got married last year, and she just had a child. What happens with most ladies? The last name changes.
Mm-hmm.
So they have to get new business cards. No, you don't. You just go into the Elify Shuffle platform and you change that name, and it gets updated across the board. That's a simple thing we never thought about. How many of you have a friend who just got married in the last year? I'm quite sure all of us can raise a hand. Well, we can now offer them ability to change those cards, and by getting Elify and Shuffle to actually update that to everybody. What if you have hey, my name changed, Elify card you created and sent to everybody? Boom. The product, and I can keep going on, but the one big thing, folks, is I've learned is I'm a hands-on person. So my extrovert, introvert friend, ER, has to do this. Walk people through. Because when we actually, every time you've gotten something new, you've always got a book of instructions or some video link telling you how to do it. But why aren't you doing the same thing with Elify? Hey, you know what, Angela? I know I just gave you this card. When I sit down here, hey, I'm gonna tap and give you a free card. See, it tells you how to do your free card, but you'll need to do that because I'm sitting right here with you. Go to the bottom, click number 2, and pull up your free card. See, this is the list of actual costs right here. But if you go to the bottom, it says 0 because you're not getting charged for that. Click continue. See, this top section, you can fill this out, but go to the bottom. When you hit continue, it gives you your card. But the biggest thing you notice, Angela, it never asks you for your card or bank information. That's how you know we give them to you free. That's the reassurance of walking them through the process that gets them past the worry and builds up your trust.
100%.
Back to you.
100%. And you know, one of the things that first came to mind, James, when you were talking, anybody who's ever watched Seinfeld, there's this episode about George Costanza's wallet. And I always think about that when I think about like the people who are carrying around those business cards, right? Those business cards. And it's like he can't even shut his wallet because it's got so much stuff stuffed in it. If you ever get a chance to Google that, it's quite humorous. But all kidding aside, this is one of the opportunities that we're really talking about as affiliates and ambassadors. There is a massive group of individuals. I want to paint the picture for you, okay? Millions of individuals who are walking around still playing in the analog age. What does that mean? Guys, I am a child of the 80s, okay? I was just lucky enough to be one of the last generations to see the analog age. Right? I remember when phones had big curly cords that connected them to the device that hung on the wall. And most of us around here remember that. Okay, there are still businesses clamoring to the vestiges of the old way of doing things. If you caught my interview, it's almost like thinking, what would the world be like if we all still used fax machines? At one time, that was cutting edge technology, right? I mean, oh my gosh, I could send a fax. Or what if cell phones still looked like giant bricks and we never innovated them further past the brick phone? You know what I mean? It just doesn't make sense. And when we talk about, James, to what you're talking about, this is the thing that I think is twofold. These pieces of paper that everybody still holds on to as a vestige of how business should be done and how we should introduce ourselves are so massively wasteful, right? I think the statistic was, and we can cite this at some point, about 120,000 acres a year of wood, guys, to make these, print these every year, right? 90 billion of them, whatever it was, Guy, that business cards that are printed every year, with a majority of them going in the garbage. You know what I mean? This is the last single-use business marketing tool that we should be helping people get rid of. And the other side of it isn't just the environmental side of it, which, again, if you talk to anybody that is green or environmentally conscious at all, that should be a no-brainer alone. But the reality is, it's not just the wastefulness, it's the performance. You know, I love the environment just as much as the next person. I want to go green in the things that I'm doing and the impact that I have. But at the end of the day, as a capitalist, as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, it's about making money, right? We're all in business to do business with people. If we're still using things that don't work, expecting them to work, that's the definition of insanity. You know what I mean? And so, James, when you meet people who are still using the business card, to know some of those types of things, like how much wasteful they are and how little impact they have, 2,500 for what? A 2% uptick in your business. I bet everybody you talk to who uses business cards, if you ask them if they handed out 2,500 business cards last year, only a fraction have. You know what I mean? And they probably didn't realize their full 2% uptick because they didn't do the 2,500 in total. And yet again, this is the thing that they're given to everybody to make a first impression, not even a lasting impression, guys. That's the opportunity that I want us to be thinking about, because that's just one segment, one use case of Elify in a market. This is where we started. I don't want to lose sight of helping people go digital, and then it expands from there. And James, the last thing I'll add is one of those tricks, guys. If somebody gives you a piece of paper, literally just take out your phone and take a picture of it and give it back to them. They're going to be like, what? You don't want to collect it? You don't want to hold on to it? You don't want to put it on a pedestal or put it on your desk or put it in the shoebox? No, you say, hey, you might need these. You might run out. Save this. You know, don't waste. Here you go. And give it back to them. And then you can open up your Shuffle app. You can add a new contact, and you can import that directly from your photos by importing that card. You don't even have to have the card with you to use that OCR technology in Shuffle to pull it in. And there's a good chance, like what James was talking about, where you take the picture, and the picture alone, just like tap, when you tap a card and your link comes up and they're like, how did you do that? When you take a picture of somebody's business card and give it back to them, sometimes they're like, what are you going to do with that now? Do you just have all these pictures of people's business cards? Oh no, let me show you. Whoop, I'm going to upload your business card right now. That's what I do. What do you do with business cards? Because it looks like you're collecting a lot of them. Oh, I just put them in my pocket and carry them around all the time. Like, at some point, people will realize that the aha moment happens for them, where they're like, you're right, this analog thing from the 16th century just isn't performing in today's day and age. Okay, Greg, go ahead.
All right, can you hear me?
We got you, buddy. Go ahead.
All right, thanks. So you brought up a question when you was talking about the QR codes.
Yeah.
So Tuesday, I believe you said when you go up to the top and you click on the carrot, I don't have that carrot. I got two carrots that point sideways, and when I hover over it, it says hidden bookmarks, and that's the only carrots
Let me see. I'm going to share my screen. I've actually got somebody's card open that shared in the chat. This is the same thing again I do. Look who it is. And I love the card for Ambit that Brenda, you put together, got all the links, got all the videos. Now, Greg, what I'm talking about is I'm on Chrome. So I don't know what browser you are on, but if you are on Chrome and you've updated it, if you look in the URL, this is the address bar that sits in your Chrome, and you may need to adjust your settings for your Chrome browser. This may be different on other browsers, and the best resource that all of us have is Google or YouTube to see about address bar QR code generation. This is the caret that I'm talking about. It's right next to the star in my address bar, and when I mouse over it, it says, share this page. This is like the way I would easily share a URL if I'm on my computer. When I click on that, I don't know if you guys can see the menu right there that pops up, but there's a menu that pops up and it allows me to create a QR code. So if they don't have the save my card, forward my card on their shuffle card, I can actually use my app to scan this QR code. And this is truly what I do when I am done with the networking event. I literally go to each of my, there's my George Costanza wallet, guys. But I go through and I look at each person's card and I quickly, instead of using the 3 clicks on the save my info, you know what I mean? I literally would just click on the create QR code and scan that with my Shuffle app, and it will add these to my card index. So a great little tip is to quickly do the QR scanning to add to your index. And I think the index is this powerful thing, Greg, that we can use for examples to provide to other people as well. Right? Oh, we've got DJs on this. Let me show you what their card looks. Oh, we've got authors on this. Let me show you what their card looks like. Why? Because I have a massive card index. Hopefully that helps, Greg. If you do not have that, again, I would search online. I would check out YouTube. I would put in your computer model. I would put in the browser that you're using. I would put in like how to generate a share link. And there's probably a good tutorial on generating that QR code. I do know it's available in Chrome. I don't know what Chrome browser version I am using, but you may want to check out updating that.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
And on Chrome, it's a little box with a big curvy arrow coming out of it. And when you put your cursor over it, it'll say share.
Yep.
That's the one you want.
Okay. Yeah. So the share.
Yep.
Share.
Yes.
Okay.
And in that share, it gives you a bunch of options, Greg. One of the options will be create a QR code.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. Thanks.
Yep. I think that the tips here of what we're looking at is how do we do things more efficiently, right? We all want to create processes and systems in our respective businesses and professions that help us perform to the best of our capabilities. And if anybody has a tip or a trick like, hey, instead of clicking this button 5 times, you click this button once and hold your phone up, now you've just saved yourself, I don't know, a little bit of time. But over the life of doing things, that stuff adds up.
Let's add to that share aspect, because I saw when you selected that, and Kimberly talks about how growing your community and your network on social, there's options to share other people's cards
Direct on social.
Right on social. And you're sharing, you're exposing, you're helping those people, saying, hey, I've got if you're in a region in the Texas region or a place that has the deregulation on energy, I've got a great friend you need to connect with. I'm going to share Brenda's card here on my link on my social thread and allow the people that I'm connected with to say, hey, maybe I need to reach out to Brenda and see what this energy savings is about.
Absolutely. Guys, look, if you're not selling energy and you know somebody who is, and you know people in a market that person can serve, and I don't want to call Brenda out, but I'm assuming it saves you a decent amount on your electricity bill. To Guy's point, hey guys, in the DFW area, if you're not saving more than 30% on your energy, you need to talk to Brenda. Let me know if you want her info, instead of posting, okay, and then you post it out or post it out with that post. But Guy, to your point, if you click on here, look at this, share to email, share to Facebook, share to Twitter, share to Reddit, share to LinkedIn, share to Pinterest. It's simplifying the process for us to refer each other business. Think about what Elify as a community would look like if we all took an opportunity to pick one person in this room and just promote that person to our spheres of influence, and not in a salesy, weird type of way, but in a, I know people who can help you. I don't solve this problem, but I know people who do solve this problem. If you have this problem, here's their information, or let me know and I'll give you their information. There are people who have problems who are looking for solutions out there that either you provide or somebody else provides. And this is that forward-looking view, guys, that Guy and I truly share about what we call the U economy. I don't see a time too far off into the near future where we are doing business with what? People we know, like, and trust, buying goods and services from the people we know, like, and trust, cutting out the middleman and connecting the service provider or product provider directly with the end customer, working together as a community to refer each other business. We can either do that and have a distributed economy made up of all these individuals, or we can continue to funnel our spending into centralized retail and other things. You know what I mean? And that can all be centralized together. That's the choice and the pivot that I think is going to happen in the economy. And that's going to be the shift into the U economy. I don't know if it's going to be driven by AI or advancements in other technologies, but it's going to be massive. It's going to be massive. So you really want to be have some type of skill or product that you can sell to the world and provide it just as good as anybody else, if not the best. Anna, you've got your hand up. Go ahead.
Thank you so much, ER. Boy, there's a lot going on today.
Isn't there?
I wanted to say, don't throw away those old business cards. Pick out a 15, 30-minute window in your day a couple times a week and go through those cards and call them and see if they're still there.
Yeah.
If they're not, toss the card. If they are, take a picture of them, put them in your network. And I'm going to say this because I did not do this in the beginning. Tag them with a word or description, because I've got to go through all of my connections, which are pretty significant now, and tag them because I can't refer them if I can't find them.
Absolutely.
What was the other thing? Oh, if you are looking at a shovel card on your desktop, you can right-click the phone, email, text, any of that. If you right-click it, you can get their phone number. If you right-click it, you can see their address. You can see their LinkedIn. You know, you can copy and paste to update your customer relations manager, whatever that might be. So you have that information without having to look up the card again.
100%.
That's it.
No, great tips, Anna, on there. And I want to go back to the thing that you just mentioned, which is starting and building relationships. If you took somebody's card for a reason and just never got over your own personal force of friction to work that card, to Anna's point, and maybe it's you've got a stack that's this big, or you've got a stack that's now the shoebox and it seems overwhelming. Pick 5 of them. Pick 5 of them a day and just go through that one exercise and think what will result out of it. Hey, I know we met a long time ago. You know, maybe time has passed and they don't remember. Just wanted to follow up and, you know, find some time to reconnect. Are they going to turn around and say, wow, somebody just gave me an inbound call? I don't want to connect with that person. You know what I mean? No, we met at one time. I got your business card. I'm going through my stack here, just like you might have a stack on your desk. Be relatable. I'm going through, I'm purging it. We're gonna keep this connection, or we're gonna let it go, you know, and then tag them. One thing we don't, I think, do enough, and I'm gonna be honest with everybody on this call. If you're a user of Shuffle, if you implemented this to create content that you share out, are you using any of the CRM tools that are in Shuffle? And if not, it better be because you already have a different CRM, okay? The reality is, I don't care what you use. I think our tool is pretty simple and easy to use as a CRM if you don't have one, but you have to be using some type of relationship manager, okay? I will tell you the 2 things that Guy and I see most often, and they're fraught with potential pitfalls and issues. The first one is the typical, and I have it here, but I use it in conjunction with mine, the notebook. Anybody got a notebook? It's got a page for every time you have a meeting with somebody. If you're only using that, guys, you need to realize that you can upload a picture of the page that you just wrote about the meeting you had with somebody into your Shuffle card, so you can review that page at any time. If you've ever been like me and you've been like, oh shoot, what did we talk about? And then you better like flip back 50 pages to try and find that one meeting, or you have multiple meetings over time And it's like, oh, it's on page 1 and page 3 and page 8 and page 10. Guys, you got to work smarter. Centralize all of that in a relationship manager. If you're not setting reminders to follow up with people, right? We've heard this before. What, 7 touch points for people to start to recognize your brand? You know what I mean? 6 to 12 touch points for people to develop know, like, and trust. How many of your contacts are falling through the cracks because you're trying to play mental juggling with who you need to follow up with? Oh yeah, I told Anna I would follow up with her next week, was it? Oh wait, I took that, you know what I mean? Or you put the sticky note on the wall, follow up with Anna. And then you look on the floor 6 months later and there's the sticky note and you're like, ah, missed that opportunity. Like this is
You are right in my basket right now, ER.
right?
You are in my basket.
Yeah, I mean, this is the stuff
That's
that
exactly what I teach.
can take people to the next level because you're just creating some processes or efficiencies in your business. We'd love for you to use it here because it's already part of what you're paying for with Elify, guys. But if you're not, if you got another tool, make sure you're implementing it there. The worst thing you can do is do nothing at all, right? Or use some of those analog things. The second thing that I want to say is don't use the Excel. Don't use the Excel or the online spreadsheet, right? Here's the name of everybody. Here's the column with their contact information. And then that notes column just gets bigger and bigger and your sheet gets bigger and bigger and you're blacking out names in your Excel and you're highlighting names you have to follow up with. And then if you close it and don't touch it for a few days, you didn't make any forward progress, guys. Again, we can't be cobbling together solutions when better solutions exist. That's the big lesson there. One thing I'd like to do on future Tech Tuesdays is get a little bit more in depth on leveraging the capabilities of the relationship manager in Shuffle so that we can all benefit from that process. If you have a team and you're trying to get your team to perform better, give them the tools to manage all of those relationships. That's the key. You know, if everybody's going every which way but loose, how do you organize and get everybody unified in a single direction? So we want to talk about some of those best tips and tricks. Angela, go ahead. Thank you for your patience.
Oh, yeah. I wanted to thank James for when we met one-to-one. He showed me how to do campaigns.
Yeah.
And so, like, for instance, my QR code on my Zoom here, I have a campaign for that. So I can go and see how many people pulled up that card through my Zoom. Also, I've been in meetings where they've actually not set the settings to where the attendees cannot save the chat, and you got to sit there and copy and paste. Well, or they put you in a room one-to-one and you get maybe 6 connections out of 200 people that are in the room. But I've had people who I didn't even meet one-to-one with there scan my QR code and set meetings with me.
I love it.
So I highly suggest using the campaigns. Also, like, I have a campaign for AngelaNelson.life. And so at the end of the year, when it comes time to renew that, I can look and see, okay, was I really getting any traction there? And if I was, then I'm going to renew it. So.
Oh, what gold, Angela. And James, thank you for sharing and educating on that, guys. If you are not using campaigns, first of all, we always say whatever gets measured gets managed, right? Information is power. If you're just using your card links, you're not building any measurability. And what Angela is talking about is so important because we all want this in our business. ROI. We want a return on our investment. We want a positive return on our investment for both our capital investment into marketing in our business and sales in our business and our time investment into our business. So if you're going to be going to events, if you're going to be spending your time or your money on certain things, you want to sure as heck understand that it's having a positive impact in the outcome of what you're working towards. So when you use a campaign, and I've done this before just on my networking promotion, I have my Facebook invite link and my LinkedIn invite link. And I've even gotten into the habit where it takes 5 seconds to create a campaign, guys. If you're not adding a form or doing all of that type of stuff, I would just give it a label, the date and the place that I'm posting it or where I'm using it, just that alone. And then I will come back. I won't even set it to real-time settings because I don't like getting blasted all the time, but I will set it to a daily setting. And every day I wake up to say, oh, wow, I had 5 scans yesterday just in that one social outlet. Cool. Maybe I should continue to post there. Maybe I should continue to post there. Oh, nobody scanned it when I go to this place. Nobody scans it. Nobody scans it. Nobody scans it. Do you think I want to keep going back to a place that doesn't produce for me? No, right? It's almost like what they used to say, the throw the spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks.
Yeah.
That's what campaigns allows you to see. It allows you to see what's sticking. And then you focus on those things that are sticking. You scale up what works, you turn off what doesn't. A lot of these concepts are amazing concepts in empowering your business, and they're so simple. They're so simple, right? They may not be easy to get started or to implement, but once you do, the outcome that it can have for you and your return on your investment, this is how we all begin to level up in our businesses. We work smarter, we implement processes, we implement systems, we implement tools, we bring on team members, and we scale. Okay, James, you are up. We've got about 3 minutes left, so you may be the last one for today. This is the last hands. If anybody has any last ones, please raise now or forever hold your peace.
Well, let me close out because we're on topic about social media and tagging stuff. So I gotta get my test right with the master Kimberly on here. Guy made a specific point about when you're doing the tag, when you're doing the Facebook posting and promoting that person on your platform with you to help promote them. That's what I've been doing the whole time we've been talking. I've been doing that post all through this week. One of the key things I've been doing is when you're putting your post together, I tag Guy. And I tag Guy works at Elify, and I tag we're eating at the Panera Bread. And I go talking through and I say all that stuff I'm doing that. I put Guy's digital business card in there, reach out to him. But then at the bottom, we forget certain things. You can also put location. I tag the location where I'm at as well. Once again, I go and I put the emotions I'm having fun or having lunch with. All of those little analytics build up. So here's the key that I've been seeing. By me posting that location, and I go the same low circle of local mom and pop shops all the time. They're seeing it popping up, and I'm posting about certain things they're doing. Hey, James, hey, come on in, buddy. Now they may compensate me with a little free tea or free coffee. That's great, but I'm building a relationship, and I asked them, "Have you seen more reviews?" Well, we need people on our Facebook, but how about the reviews? Well, we're getting them. Well, let me show you how you can add more views, and I can tag your digital card onto the following I have to build up more and more. We have all of these techniques and we have all these platforms, but we're not putting them together. If you're not listening to, let me phrase that, the benefit listening to everybody who's on here and they've done the trial and error of the social media, it helps you. If you're not tech savvy, I'm not very good. We had the gentleman yesterday, Mr. Michael, who was on our Wednesday meeting. What it was, I'm behind.
Wednesday. Yeah.
Thank you. We actually talked about, so me and him got off last night. I actually went through, helped him out, and I created his card. And he's like, "Oh my God, this is great," and he's loving it. So, more of the story. Kimberly and everybody here is telling us how social media can work and how we can build our teams. Try it, see if it works, but not trying it, it's not going to work. Back to you.
First of all, or in closing, James, as you always say, guys, success leaves clues. Success leaves clues. Okay, I'm a firm believer. Success boils down to three things. You got to have the knowledge, you got to have skills, you got to have the tools. Okay, but the biggest deciding factor in all of that is you've got to implement it. You have to take action. Okay, if you learn a tip, a trick, a gold nugget from anything out of the Elify community, kudos to you for learning it. But it is your responsibility to immediately implement it. Okay, and Guy, you and I have talked about this ad nauseum on a lot of earlier calls we did throughout the year and all of last year. Step one, implement it. Guys, do you remember when you started something for the first time? You didn't do it right. Okay, let's give ourselves a little bit of grace. We need to step out of ourselves and treat ourselves almost like little kids riding bikes for the first time. Oh, wow, I just learned about this new thing called social media, AKA the bike. You know what I mean? You got to get on it. Oh, man, it's a little shaky and I have no clue what I'm doing. You got to start doing it, right? That's the implementation. Now, I can learn everything there is to know about riding a bike, guys, right? I can learn about speed and velocity and balance. I can learn what the pedals do and what the tires do and what the handlebars do. And I can have all of that knowledge. Okay, but if I don't develop the skill by putting it into practice, and the key word on all of this is practice, guys, practice. You don't do something once expecting the final outcome. That's the instant gratification in us talking back, right? Where's the easy button? I'm gonna push it once and it's gonna work. This is why everybody wants to have one conversation with one person and make one sale. Doesn't work like that, okay? It's about consistency. It's about being relentlessly consistent over time and having the discipline to be consistent for long periods of time, right? We talk about building a habit on Wednesday's networking, and I think Steve was talking about 60, 90 days, guys. At a minimum, I think at a minimum, everybody should use the rule of 100 repetitions, okay? If you do something daily, do it and make a commitment to do it every day for 100 days, minimum, right? Do it in perpetuity is the goal, but you have to commit to doing something, not once, but over and over and over again. That way you can look back and see the sum of all of those efforts, because that's what moves you in the direction that those efforts result in. Not one time, right, Guy? Like, we don't go to the gym and do a curl one time with a heavy weight and we're done and we've got biceps. You do weight consistently over time, and 6 months later, a year later, all of a sudden you're like, whoa, I put on a lot of muscle mass. Or the same thing with shrinking down. If you're losing weight, you don't get on the treadmill and go for a mile walk and all of a sudden you've lost 50 pounds. But if you go for a mile walk every day consistently,
For 50 days.
yeah, you can lose a lot of weight. Like, when are we going to step back and tell ourselves that it's okay to fail our way forward as long as we implement it and we get better at what we're implementing over time?
Exactly.
This is what it is. And we can all be doing that within the Elify community. So in closing, guys, we talk about will, skill, and refill. I think you guys are all here for a reason. I love that you're a part of the Elify community. I think this is the thing that I look forward to more than just the busy work that Guy and I do behind the scenes. It's getting together with the community and collaborating with you guys to advance the mission forward. But we need your help. We need your help. I know this isn't full time for all of you guys, right? This is something we plug into part-time, and that's the way maybe you want it, which is fine. But what I do want to ask is that you play your role and you do it consistently and you implement it, and then you stay consistent with implementing it, and you give it that fair shake, 100 days maybe. So make a commitment today that for the next 100 days, I'm going to empower myself to do the things I should be doing in my own business and within my Elify business to maximize my success. And then come talk to this group in 100 days and let us know what your results are. Because I firmly believe that if every one of us did that, things would look a lot differently for the community and for us individually within that period of time. That's the commitment I make to myself every day when I wake up. And I encourage you to make it to yourself as well. So Guy, I know we're a little bit over on time. I'm going to kick it over to you to close this thing out. I know we've got a lot of stuff going on in the week to come, and I can't wait for it.
So we'll wrap it up with this. I know Kathy put in there earlier, ER sort of dropped it. So if you didn't have an opportunity, make sure you watch the interview that Kathy and Kimberly did with ER. It's a great one. But the aspect of Elify really is introducing yourself just got easier. That's what Elify is doing. So if we really just step back and say, this is all I have to do, this is all I should have to do in bringing Elify to the world, is being able to introduce yourself in a way that's easy, simple, sharing information about what you do. In turn, showing other people how easy it is for them to share information about what they do.
Yep.
If we implement this, we work on that, we do that 100 times, it's inevitable you're going to see an uptick, right? ER, we've been talking about guarantees because there's some things we have to put together in the background in some terms of service and questions on guarantees. I will never put a guarantee. I will put a guarantee the fact that if you follow the system and you do what you're supposed to do when you're supposed to do it, you'll see success. But I'm not going to put a guarantee on people because I know people. I can't guarantee ER is going to do something that I can guarantee I will do.
Sure.
Right? We can't do that. So I can't guarantee people are going to see the evolution of what business is.
Yeah.
Someday they will.
Oh yeah.
And it's being in the front of mind for them moving forward, continually interacting with them. Right? Maybe I joined a new business, a new product and service that I have. I'm reaching back out to them, introducing myself again, introducing what I have. I'm introducing them to other people. I'm really working our grand thought, and there's probably an interview that will be talking a lot about the U economy. And we've got to move into it. And we really are not cutting edge, we're more bleeding edge in the U economy. We all have this at our hands, at our fingertips right now to be disruption, a positive disruption in how business will be. It's going to change, right? It has to change. The mobile phone, we no longer have a brick. We're no longer really utilizing landlines. Fax services aren't always being used, maybe by your CPA, but not everyone's utilizing them anymore. There's an evolution, and we're at the precipice. We're at that point where there's going to be a tip. It's going to tip. It's going to go over the edge, and everyone's going to be like, where do I get that? How do I get that? Get it from you. Introduce yourself. Say hi. It really is that simple. The Elify solution was developed and designed with you in mind. Your economy, sharing your information. So, happy Friday. Everyone have a great week. We've got a long Friday ahead of us here, so we will get on to our next meeting. Make it a great day, and we'll see you all next week. Take care.
Make sure hashtag Elify everywhere, folks. I'm out.
Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe.
Yep, I gotta go meetings.
Hashtag go Elify. There you
Go
go.
Elify.
Oh, go Elify. Okay, I'm sorry. Gotcha.
Go Elify.